Good morning, crew. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to package and ship 8 different items. Just got into the office. Got my 2 kiddos here. This is just parenting life. You have to put a screen in front of their face sometimes. Eating his lunch, getting some screen time in while I get the shipping done. Got little lady. What's up, little lady? Should we do some shipping? You look exhausted. All right, so these are just a few of today's sales. I already shipped out some of the other stuff that I cannot show on YouTube, but this is just generic stuff. So we use 3 main types of shipping. First class for all of our items are going to be underneath a pound, which is typically something like these right here. These lightweight, small items are great. For a lot of our first class, I'll show you exactly what we do. For a lot of our first class, we can either use one of these little mailer bags here. All right, so these are just a few items that we shipped out over this weekend. I already started packaging and shipping some of the other stuff I cannot show on YouTube, but some of this stuff, just generic items we don't mind being on here. We use 3 different types of main shipping methods. I'm gonna show you the breakdown of each one. Number 1, small, lightweight items underneath a pound, typically some clothing items and stuff like this. What are you hollering at over here? So for our first class, what we do are 3 main types of mailers, I guess you can call them. So number 1, we have a typical manila bubble wrap on the inside, so it's called a bubble mailer. This one is a non-bubble mailer, just a regular kind of poly bag. You can get these fairly inexpensive on Amazon. That's where we get ours. These are great for clothing items, which are already bagged, and then you can just slide them right in there. For stuff that is breakable, collector's items, these are lightweight, so it still stays underneath a pound for that first class shipping. So stuff like these little bottles, I don't mind putting inside of this bubble mailer because it's obviously hard plastic, not going to be damaged. But stuff like this, the OG Lion King Burger, there it is, Burger King exclusive cup. I do not want this getting damaged, so that is going to go inside one of those boxes. These boxes, we have no affiliation with them, by the way. Uline.com, you can get all of your box supplies. That's where we get most of ours. Cool part is you can get these between 40 and 60 cents each. So if you work that into your cost of goods, and when you're actually pricing your stuff, just work that into the price. Awesome to have these on hand so we don't have to custom box a lot of stuff. So that's first class. Next up is if something is over a pound, then we ask, can we fit it inside of one of these, which are going to be the flat rate priority envelope. So these are the padded version. There are 2 versions. This is the padded version. We use a lot of these. So first class shipping is typically underneath $5. Your next step up would then be getting into the priority mailing system. This flat rate padded envelope is going to cost you just over $7, which is always really nice. So as long as your item fits inside of there, then you're good to go. So a lot of this is really great for stuff like this that is hard. It's not going to go anywhere. Now, if I ship this regular priority, this is pretty heavy, so this may cost me upwards of $15, $16 just to ship regular priority. But I've already sold and shipped several of these, and they fit right inside of this padded mailer, which is beautiful. So small, heavy items, the flat rate paddeds are great. You also have the flat rate boxes, which we don't use a ton of, but these ones we definitely do. Next up is regular priority, so non-flat rate. We're going to be looking at a lot of shoes that we do mainly in priority. We use these priority boxes, which you can get for free on USPS.com. That's what it looks like flat. This is actually the same box that we have right there. And stuff like this, coats and vests, sometimes they're small enough, even if they weigh over a pound, sometimes they are small enough we can fit them inside that flat rate padded. But if not, then typically we're going to be doing the shoe box right here. Do we need to take a video recording break? Are you hungry? All right, gonna feed this one. Be right back. And we're back. So I've got also number 3 on how we ship stuff is typically going to be FedEx, SmartPost, or home delivery. All of our bigger items are electronics, heavy, all that good stuff always gets listed as FedEx, SmartPost, but sometimes USPS actually works out to be not much more and you can get it there a lot quicker. So the customer sometimes buys it expecting FedEx, SmartPost shipping time, which can take up to a week. And then if they get it within 2 to 3 days priority, you usually always get great feedback on those. So that is a quick overview of the different types of items that we're shipping out today, a few examples of boxes and mailers that we use. But then the follow-up question is, how do you actually package this stuff? Do you use bubble wrap? Do you use poly bags? How do we actually package this stuff? So that's what I'm going to do for you right now. I'm going to break down every single item that gets packaged and how we do it. Quick overview of the actual supplies that we use as far as packaging material. Bubble wrap, craft wrap. Again, I get all this stuff from Uline. You can get the little holder. You can get the entire 24-inch roll of craft paper. This stuff lasts a long time. This also makes for great filler if you are looking to pack FBA boxes too. Another item you see us use a lot are going to be these poly bags, and then of course boxes, but that's kind of it. A lot of bubble wrap, craft paper, some poly bags, that's about it. All right, first up is this little Verifone card reader mount. This actually came out of that Shopko load if you guys are following that vlog series. Sold that for 30 bucks. It's going to go in the flat rate padded, which should be just over 7 bucks. This is not going to get damaged. This thing is solid metal, so I'm not worried about getting damaged. So I'm just gonna wrap it in this brown paper simply because it allows it to slide into this a lot easier. And that's a tip if you guys are gonna be using these bubble mailers. If you put them inside of a poly bag or wrap it in some type of craft paper, it will slide right in there. And just because I'm doing bulk shipping, I usually just write part of the zip code on there so I can know which item is which when I'm actually shipping. Side tip, I just realized one buyer actually came in and bought 2 different supplements. So what you can do is click on each of those boxes and you can combine the shipping so it's not doing 2 different shipping. Once you click those, scroll back up. So eBay's gotten a lot better at this, so they actually show it right up top here so you can click on that. Or off to the right, you'll see combine right here. So now what that did is combine the shipping so I can put these both in the same box. Just a little side tip there. These 2 guys, super easy to ship. Again, hard plastic bottles. I'm not too worried about those getting actually damaged. So they're just gonna go right inside of here. This is still under a pound, so that's going first class. This guy weighs 6 ounces, so they're definitely going first class on this one. Now I will say you do not need to do this extra step. I usually do with anything that's powdered, anything that would make a huge mess if it broke open. I add inside of a poly bag, because if this is being shipped to a customer and the customer opens up their package, I would not want to see powder all up in this. I would rather put it inside of one of these just to be safe. That way it is not going to cause any type of mess if it does happen. Again, you don't need to do that extra step. It is an extra couple cents of cost to get one of these, but I like to play it safe, so I'm going to just toss this in here. All right, VCR is gonna go probably FedEx. I'll show you guys the screen once we get to the shipping part, but definitely bubble wrap. We have this right here, just pinned up to a pegboard by a bungee cord. You do not need to buy one of those like $30 or $40 rods. Literally just put up pegboard and bungee. Works out fine. So what I'm gonna do, pull this down, put that on there, wrap it up, and then bring it over here. Usually I have medium-sized Lowe's boxes, which work great for VCRs because they plop in the bottom and you can cut them down very easy. I'm out and I have both the kiddos. I'm not gonna go run to Lowe's with these 2 just to get a box. So I get a custom box. And PS, yes, VCRs still sell. This one sold for 70 bucks. We'll see how much the shipping is gonna be because I did offer free shipping on this one. One other thing I do, again, not necessary, but after I do a bunch of bubble wrap like that, I like to stretch wrap it. Just gives a really clean look. Bonus tip, if you're throwing a thank you card inside of one of these, you can actually just stretch wrap it right onto it. So that is what the finished product looks like. Now we have to throw it in custom box. All right, so once the main tape is down, just to seal everything together, just to clean it up a little bit because you got all the cardboard cuts that we had to do, I usually just cover it in eBay tape. This is definitely not the prettiest mummy box, Franken box, whatever you want to call it, that I've done. But the point is, it will get there in one piece. Let's now weigh this and show you how much it's gonna cost. And who knows if these actually do anything, but a couple fragile stickers on the VCR package. All right, so 14 pounds, 14 ounces, 18 by 15 by 7 under FedEx home delivery is going to be $23.98. And that's from Oregon to Florida, so that's actually a really good rate. Again, sold for 70 bucks. Paid $24 for my shipping. I paid $5 at a thrift store for that. Tested, works great. So don't pass on VCRs. Now for the boots. All right, so for these, we do our shoes pretty much all the same way, including boots. Shoebox, USPS.com, you can get those for free. And then just like regular tissue paper, if you want to use that, we just use this craft paper. It's pretty thin, so it's not too bad. We just wrap each one, toss it in the box. All right, then the Eileen Fisher. Trista actually sold this for $45. She found it for $6 in a thrift store. Now with this kind of stuff, there's a chance it might be heavier than a pound. If that's the case, I will try to fit it into a flat rate padded. If it's still underneath a pound and I can include the box weight, then I can use a box. Ideally, it's gonna be underneath a pound, then I can go first class. All right, so it's a really close call. It's 14.7 ounces. So let's see if we can get this inside of a poly bag and a mailer while still being underneath a pound. The nice part with these puffer style vests, you can compress the air down so it actually does not take up much space. Literally turned out to be 15.8 ounces, which is perfect. Usually we also carry large size of these mailers. We ran out, so luckily it fit inside there. Next up, got the Lion King cups, 3 different orders, 3 different customers. Again, I'm a fan of these U-line boxes. This is a 7x5x4. All right, so boxes are all taped up. I do recommend you batch stuff together when you can. So for example, batch all 3 of the boxes done at the same time, wrap all 3 of these, and then ship all 3. Rather than doing each one individually. It's gonna take you a few more seconds per task, which doesn't seem like much, but over the course of the next few months, few years, that time adds up. So batch things together where you can. With these, I like to add just a little bit of void paper in there just to cushion the bottom. Next up is the beer tap handle. This is just over a pound, which means it's not going first class. Now, if I was going to ship this regular priority mail in one of those shoe boxes or something like that, typically it's going to cost between $12 to $14 on average. So then we ask, can we fit it inside that padded flat rate? So this is how I've been shipping a lot of them because they fit perfect, and it costs about $7.50. First, I do want to bubble wrap this though. And P.S. if you're questioning why I wrap diagonally, it's literally just a case of habit. My very first job, I worked at Quiznos for 3 years. That's exactly how we wrap those subs. Random fact of the day. Now in cases like this where it was a very tight squeeze, if this thing got knocked around, that seal may not hold. So I put an extra strip of shipping tape on there. And real quick, I'll show you guys where you change that. So right here in your shipping setting, you're going to go flat rate. And then again, there's 2 options. Envelope, we used a padded envelope, so make sure you select the right one. $7.55 to ship that, so that saved me easily about $3, maybe $4 just by using that padded envelope. Shoes, again, I'm going to wrap in the craft paper priority shoebox. So now you guys can see why I like this craft paper. I can use it for a lot of different stuff. Instead of using a bunch of the air bubbles, which you can totally use, that's fine. This wraps the shoe and adds the extra cushioning as well. So you don't need to put in a lot of filler content. Next up, we got some toners. This is about 13 ounces, so it is going to be first class underneath 1 pound. We're gonna bubble wrap each one individually, slide it into here, which goes into the bubble mailer. And again, the poly bag is not required, but just like I said earlier, if this busts open, I do not want it to be all up in the package. I'd rather it be contained in here. Plus, I just think it makes for a way better customer experience when they receive something like this rather than just 2 loose bottles. And ultimately, you are only adding cents into your cost. A lot of people like to come on here and run their mouths about how we eat into our profits because we use so much extra bubble wrap and poly bags and blah, blah, blah. If you are buying this stuff from the right sellers on Amazon, eBay, etc., you're paying cents. So if you don't have wiggle room for cents to make a better customer experience in your margins, you might want to rethink your strategy. I'd rather overpack my stuff and make my customers happy. USPS packages loaded up in our little wagon, good to go. Luckily, the post office is right across the street, so I just gotta walk these over now. And we don't have an actual FedEx in our town, small town, I know. So I have to drop that over at Walgreens, who accepts FedEx on the way home. And that's it, folks. I figured I'd just throw together a quick video. Everyone always asks what kind of items we're selling, how do we prep them, how do we ship them? So comment below, is it helpful to see kind of what I'm doing behind the scenes with the actual shipping portion? Because if you guys enjoy these type of videos, I'll keep doing them. To us, it's nothing fancy. It's just the boring everyday shipping that goes on in the office here. But if you guys enjoy that, I'll keep recording the content behind the scenes. Thanks for tuning in. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up button. It does help us out on this channel. Be sure to subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you in the next video.